What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to the next installment of our Push for 3K IO video series for our Brewmaster Monkadies. This time we're doing a plus 10 Magisters Terrace. So let's skip the preamble and just jump in just like the video did because I cut it all funky. So this first pool is a pretty difficult one. I know that a lot of people are going to lust this one as opposed to lusting the second pool. I think either one is fine. You really were just trying to focus that big lieutenant mob first, avoiding his little puddles he puts out, and trying to not be stunned by this gigantic hit and knockback. So this is a pool where I really messed it up the first couple of times. When I start the dungeon, it takes me a second to really get into the dungeon because this is such a weird first pool, I feel. However, overall, Magisters Terrace is one of my favorite dungeons. It's probably actually my favorite dungeon in the dungeon pool. I also believe it is probably the hardest, at least in my opinion, because of just the amount of damage that goes out and then the different mechanics and stuff you have to deal with. Now, the second pool is a very spicy one and can be deadly. This is the one where we sit here and lust on, I believe. We come in, gather everything around the corner, LOS it, and kind of just lock it down as much as possible. This is a scary pool, specifically if you LOS yourself from your healer. Not making sure that you are in line of sight is a really quick way to die, so don't do that. I almost kill myself here because I LOS myself around the wall and Anali wasn't with us. So you jump down, you go to this little maze, which I absolutely hate, but I understand why we do it. It just reminds me of Mechagon. So it's one of those things I just do not like about this dungeon. But gather all the books, pull them onto this little fire guy, and DPS everything down. There is a book that falls off the shelf here. It gives you a haste buff, so make sure someone grabs that. I believe Dilvish grabbed that for us. We got our haste buff, and we kind of just knock everything down and really focus this pyromancer. He does have like a air denial thing that you got to deal with, and for the most part, he doesn't do too much damage. It's really more of a just gather everything and cleave stuff down on top of him. We somehow pulled these extra books and just killed those as we go out. Now this open area can be dangerous if you pull the wrong mobs or pull too many of the groups. I think realistically you're going to want to pull this group in the middle and then this group that's also to the side that I'm going to pull next. You can see here I think I try to Ring of Peace them and I throw my Ring of Peace in the wrong direction or like the wrong area, so it doesn't really help. Yeah, so I was going to try to skip these guys and Ring of Peace them farther or closer to the wall, and I just did not place it right, so we ended up pulling them, which we needed to count anyway, so it's fine. But really it's just tank everything on top of each other and kind of just cleave everything down. This guy's another one, the same entry, like big entry mobs. He's gonna root me in place. So really just DPS him down, avoid the puddles that he's gonna drop on the ground, and kill him as fast as possible. Like, these guys are probably some of the most dangerous in the dungeon, so you making sure that you really hard focus them is important.
If you stand on the emissary spawn, it throws you back. Was not aware of that.
Alright, so we come here. This boss that's coming up is incredibly dangerous. I like to try to pull everything that's in this little cove area. First, kill it because we are going to pull the boss into this area that's now empty.
I interrupted the rock thing. Oh, appreciate it.
The main reason for that is because there's a bunch of area denial for this and a knockback, and I try to
I was
set
targeting.
myself up to where I'm getting knocked back maybe a couple feet as opposed to across the room and pulling other things. So I really want to make sure I get the area prepped and then pull the boss, pull the boss over into the corner. The objective is for him to knock me back into the wall, which is where I want to be, and do this area denial that he's going to put in this corner of the room right here. Because ideally we're not going to be back over here. And then you kind of just counterclockwise around this little open area and drop all the puddles, the area denial puddles in here, so you have a lot of the courtyard still available if you need it. I think on hierarchies, I mean this is a 10, but on hierarchies it is going to take a lot longer and you're going to need a lot more space. So make sure you kind of have an idea and follow where you want to go is going to be the ideal way to not wipe on this boss. Now in this intermission phase, it is important to kind of have the boss in this area because it limits where the balls that are coming out are going to be coming from. If you have them in the middle of the room, the balls come out kind of like the third boss of Algothar Academy, where they kind of come from everywhere. But if you have the boss in this limited space, in this limited area, the balls will only come from one or two directions, so it's a lot easier to make sure that the boss doesn't pick up any of the orbs. So you see here, getting hit, taking that area denial right where it was, and then just moving out. So we really only took up a quarter of the courtyard with this strategy, and that's the important thing to do. Just make sure we don't take all of, don't take up as much of the room as possible. So we pull these mana worms. I'm not sure that they're really needed for count. The important thing is don't kill them all instantly. You will have this huge debuff and you will die. So kind of stagger their death a bit and try not to kill them all at one point in time. I'm not sure the healer is going to, good healers are going to be able to do it, and Ollie was great at it, but some healers you might pug, they're not going to be able to heal through that. This pull is a little bit spicy. You have 3 casters and a lieutenant mob, so really just pull them on top of each other, get the kicks, and cleave down the lieutenant mob. So once this is down about 3/4 of the way, it's got a quarter health left. Like pull this next group. It's a really bad timing because I got stunned immediately as I pulled him, so I didn't get threat on one of the people, one of the mobs. As you see, I had to quickly taunt just to get him, and then we kind of just kite them into this next little area of the room. You want to try to avoid confined spaces with this Spellbreaker mob. I believe it's a Spellbreaker mob that puts the circles on the ground. I'm not 100% positive, but you want to try to, yeah, it's right here. Yeah, you want to try to avoid confined spaces so you're not getting frontaled by this attack. And the same thing here. It's all of these mobs, like these packs that are coming up, are very dangerous. You don't want to pull them on top of each other, at least at level 10. I mean, when you get a lot of gear, when you're trying to run 8, 15, 16, 17, you might be trying to pull 2 groups together. But right now, it's really just about trying to stay alive and not wiping us. So here you see we have 1 lieutenant mob, 1, 2, actually like 3 casters. And you have like 2 or 3, regular individual mobs. It's important to get the kicks, and then stun them as much as possible. Try to leg sweep them to keep them knocked down. Great move here by Skeptic throwing out darkness for us, because I was running out of defensives and I was going to just get nuked by these guys. So that darkness play is fantastic. So kudos to that. And then we just kill this mob. So last group here, we have the 2 lieutenant mobs and then the 1 caster. Really just kick the caster, make sure that we are out of these frontals, and then we will be fine. On a DPS, just because I like to have them.
Yeah, especially that one. That's such a huge one.
Yeah.
Every one of my specs I have, it takes it.
Really, main thing is here just avoid the frontals, like I said. Hopefully they'll just shoot them in opposite directions, and we can just not really have to move a bunch. Really just sidestep out. We go right into this boss. So this boss is probably I would say the probably second hardest boss in this dungeon. Strictly because you get targeted with this circle that you need to dispel yourself on in his anti-magic zone. The important thing is to figure out the timing for it. Here I kind of mess it up, I believe. I can probably hold my my debuff until the other members of this group cleanse theirs. Because you see me here, I did that first time and it killed our healer. So I kind of need to just sit here, or you need to coordinate with your group, which is how we start doing it initially, or which is how we start doing it afterwards. The group is kind of talking, saying, "Hey, you can go, I'll sit," and then we figure it out like that. So here, you see that everyone got targeted with, or like the boss seemed to be charging up. It looked like. You need to make sure you step into this anti-magic shell zone, and then it will silence you, but it also prevents you from being damaged from his major offensive cooldown that he's doing right there. So here you see me pull him out, and then we kind of just nuke him down, avoid the swirlies on the ground, and just kill him. So pretty simple fight. I mean, the fight in general is simple. It's the damage that's the overall damage that's going out is the thing that's deadly about it. So making sure that you have your defensives up and rolling whenever you are not clearing your debuff, and making sure that the healer is not getting nuked by multiple people clearing their debuff at the same time. Now, here is a really enjoyable part of this dungeon. This little void hallway, I guess is what we're going to call it. I think it's going to be a thing that where people kind of just rush through it. There aren't really many mobs here that are particularly dangerous. They're all just general normal mobs. They're not doing a ton of damage with white hits. It's really just making sure you kick this Void Walker, because he does have a cast. I mean, it's really just like a spam bolt cast. It's not incredibly dangerous. It won't kill you outright unless you get to like 18s where it might be doing a ton of damage. But really just kick it when it's up and just kind of kite everything down. Or kind of kite everything down the hallway and cleave everything down together. Same thing here. Just the little general mobs. Kill everything quickly. And then you're free of this hallway.
I've wanted to for
My wife said I could, but then I looked at the cost of tickets and it's like, no.
yeah. But yeah, they just announced.
So now this is when the dungeon starts to get a little bit more spicy. Everything's void now. There are these void walkers here that you need to make sure you kick. I believe it's these ones that will summon things as well as fear you. Or it might not be these ones, but there are individual void walkers here that will fear you. So you need to make sure you kick those immediately. Oh, it's this guy. It's a Void Terror right here. So this guy has a fear, an AoE fear that we need to make sure we kick constantly. So if you get, I guess like a group of 2 or 3, as long as you have coordinated kicks, you're fine. But if you do not have coordinated kicks, you need to make sure that you only take one of these, maybe two, because anything more is going to really, really wipe your group.
About 4, close to 4, 3.5, 3.40.
So we come in here, there's, like I said, right here, there's 2 Void Terrors. It's important to make sure that we are clarifying who is kicking which mob. And you'll see me here when I have my leg sweep available. I will leg sweep when they start to cast, just so that I can kick both of them at the same time and kind of reset their terror or their scream.
I live in Oregon though, so that maybe I would be familiar with.
Where in Oregon do you live?
By Eugene.
Okay.
So this is the next boss area. It is important that you clear everything in this room. You cannot pull the boss. He won't even spawn unless everything is clear. So there are Void Terrors. There are these Void Walkers in this area. Realistically, you should be okay with you have coordinated kicks. You don't need to kick that Void Walker. The main thing you should be kicking is the Void Terror's scream. You don't want to be feared from that.
That's cool.
So you see me here, leg sweeps. It's a very big group of mobs. Leg sweep to get everything kicked at one time. We can kind of just nuke everything down, cleave it down on top of this Void Walker.
Jeez. Yeah, I actually moved to California from Portland, Oregon, so I'm familiar with that area too.
Oh, nice. I used to live in Portland. Wilsonville and Milwaukee.
I probably could have taken this to the next group of mobs. I really wasn't thinking about it. And it is an important thing to do, like kind of just chain pull everything through. That way you can kind of get the boss spawned a little bit faster. So same thing here. Group. There's 1 Void Terror in this group. Make sure that you are kicking that on cooldown. Like you have to make sure that that thing is not going to cast off, because if you do, it'll fear you into this next group, and then you might be just wiping. There is, as you can see by my frames, my party frames, there's a huge heal absorb that is put on me. I try to do my instacast heal, my vivify, instant vivify, just so I can heal through it a little bit, help out on Ollie. So same thing here. This red, huge shield or heal absorb. So here we go. So this is the next boss. This little squid boss. The important thing here is to make sure you are constantly kiting this boss to the other ads that are gonna. It's like mimicked ads that split. So you see that there's 3 now. You want to kite the boss onto these other, at least one other one. There occasionally will be shields that these little squids will get. You need to burst those. The mechanic is very simple. It tells you which squid you should be going to. So really just taunt, or really just take the squid and tank them on top of another mob. So there's a little pool. I'm not affected by it, but the other group members, there's 3 group members who are going to be affected by that pool. When the squid boss splits again, there will be 5. So the main boss and then 4 other smaller squids. You need to make sure that we are all going to be running opposite of that pool.
Yeah, they do that too.
So here you go. This is what the arrow pointed me to, one of these other mobs. I had to break its shield so we can actually do damage to the boss. And now it's kind of just tank the boss, kite the boss onto that other squid. And now I'm getting affected by the tank, or by the pool. Run opposite of that. And then we should be good. Yep. So we go here. I'm just tanking this mob, or tanking the boss on top of this mob. They all share health, so you really just need to kill one of them. Now there are these pools that are going to be dropped, that you're seeing that are dropped here. The ideal way to do this is to drop these pools onto the outside of the room. That way our path is clear. They do disappear after a couple minutes, so it's not the worst thing in the world. You can kind of kite through it, but it will help your DPS, especially your melee DPS, immensely if you drop them on the outside.
Yeah,
You run in here. Make sure you pull the mobs out of that little
Get up the last time.
that little shielded area, and then you can kind of
Well, just
kite these mobs because they're not doing too much damage. They're not hitting you too hard.
when you get up,
You can kind of kite these mobs up the ramp
like it was
straight into the next set of deadlier mobs, which are right here. So you see there are 2 Void Terrors, and there's this other little Void Walker-ish guy. We got to make sure you kick these Void Terror screams. If you don't, they're going to fear you into this other group of mobs that's behind us. You don't want that. So these pats are just ones that come down from the ramp. They will be there occasionally. Sometimes you might get them. Sometimes you'll pull them up closer to the top of the ramp. Just kite them together, cleave everything down. So you should be able to see that there are mobs that are in the middle right here of this stairwell. If you do not kick those fears, they will fear you into those other groups of mobs, and that is not going to be easy for you to try to control when you have those the screams going out and then the cast going out.
Yeah, that's always a bummer.
You kind of just kite these little small guys up
It's just something else like I
and kill them as you walk.
this is the guild I want to be in.
Now you get to the top. There's 2 ways you can go. You can go left or right. Right, in my opinion, is the harder side of
Yes, I do, of course.
this little walkway. You want to go left. There's just 1 Void Terror, it looks like, and then you kind of just kick that and then cleave it down on top of the Tyrant mob that's here. So, see me kick that. There is a huge heal absorb. I kind of healed through that, helping Ollie out a bit.
I have facial hair, but
And you
it
just
just drives me crazy when it
cleave everything down.
very long.
We have a mustache.
Yeah. Well, I have full facial hair, so I have like the jawline, the mustache, everything.
I could have pulled that
Okay. A lot of people.
once it got closer to death up to these new Tyrants and this Void Walker. It probably would have been a little bit more efficient. I kind of was worried about the heal absorb that gets placed on me. So it's really, if you feel that the healer can control it and has a good grasp on the group's health, you can pull them onto each other, and then you just kind of deal with the heal absorb as they come out. You can see me here. I got the heal absorb, then our shaman got the heal absorb Grim, and then I got the heal absorb again. So I kind of just try to heal myself through it to take a little bit of the pressure off of Anali from healing everybody, trying to get it to full. So you see here, Skeptic gets the heal absorb as well. I kind of throw a heal out to him, then I get it again. So it's really just a game of ping pong, like who keeps getting the heal absorb.
Yeah, I trim it.
We go into the last boss here, and I believe that this boss isn't as difficult as people make it. The main thing I like to do here is it split the group into 2 separate groups. One group is going to be your tank, your healer, and a DPS, and the second group will be just the 2 DPS. The objective really is to just play volleyball. You'll see here that I do get hit with this little puddle, area denial puddle, that I need to run out and call for a dispel from our healer, which is a pretty simple mechanic. And then this is the volleyball. So you essentially just take the volleyball, hit it back over to the next group. So here you see I get the debuff again, run it out, drop it, run back in. This boss there's no penalty for getting out of melee range. He kind of just shoots bolts at you, so being able to run in and out is easy without feeling like the tank you're gonna lose aggro on the tank and someone's gonna die. So you see here I go out and I transcend this back, and the attack that happened before that threw me off, and I thought I got dispelled and I didn't, so I dropped the puddle right in the middle of the group. We just have to adjust a little bit, and then we figure it out. So here again, drop the puddle, and I don't make it back to the volleyball part of the fight, the volleyball part of the mechanic. we kind of just nuked the boss here. But I mean, this is pretty simple boss for the most part, and we ended up two chesting this at the end. But that is Magisters Terrace. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments on what I can do better, please let me know below. There will be more tank videos and healer and DPS push to 3K videos coming out soon. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I will talk to you guys later. Adios.